So today we are going to be starting some bigger projects now that we are into the second half of the year, because at the end of the year we are going to have an art show. So we are going to be starting to talk about the element of space. We learned about the elements of art. There's color, there's line, there's shape. Well, space is one of those elements. And we're not talking about outer space with the moons. No, we are talking about the space on a paper, because once we understand how space works, we can start make things look like they're far away or up close. Okay, so we're going to be doing a couple projects that have to do with the element of space. And so this week we're going to talk about how we have two types of space. We have a positive space and a negative space. So when I think of those two words, I know that they are opposites, positive and negative. I know that because a battery has a positive side and a negative side, but that's not what it means in art. Positive space could be happy, right? Positive, or a bad, negative attitude. That's not what it means in art. What we're talking about is the space that an object is positive, and the space around it, usually we call it the background, is the negative space. Okay, let's watch a quick video so we can learn more about it.
Hi, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And this is Art Quest.
Art Quest!
Look at me, I'm positive space.
No, I'm positive space.
We're both positive space.
And what's all that?
That's negative space.
In art, positive space is the space that an object occupies.
And negative space is all the space around that object.
Let's see if we can find the positive and negative space in these collages by artist Lane York.
In the curious effects of clean linen, the man stretching is the positive space.
And everything around him is the negative space.
In the backcountry how do you do, the positive space is the two people with the dog in the canoe along with their reflection.
And everything in black is the negative space.
And in adding insult to injury, here's all the negative space.
And the dancing couple make up the positive space.
I think we got it now, don't you?
I'm positive.
And now you know that art is all around you.
To share the art around you,
visit us online at friskkids.org.
All right, so now that I have a better understanding about what positive and negative space is, let's take a look at my picture here. Okay, so I have a heart on a black background. So, knowing what I know, what is the positive space and what is the negative space? I'm going to say that the positive space is the heart, and the negative space is the background. Would you agree? I hope so. Well, now let's get a little tricky. I'm going to change it up. And now my colors have changed. So what is the positive space there and the negative space? Now it's getting tricky. I'm still going to say that the heart is the positive space because that is the object. It's the shape that is in the middle. And everything else is the background, so I know that's negative. But because I switched colors, it kind of made me look like the heart wasn't there anymore. So that is a special trick that we're going to actually learn about today, and we're going to make something that was invented over in Japan, and we call them a Japanese Notan. You can see some behind me. But what it is they play with the positive and negative space by switching colors. So you can see that I have cut out a shape here, so this way I can see the negative and the positive side. Okay, so let's get ready to make some Japanese Notans. So for this project, we are going to be doing a collage, which means that we're going to be cutting and gluing paper together to make a picture. So you're going to need two pieces of paper that are contrasting colors. So we learned that earlier with our complementary colors, so you could do colors like blue and orange. They're opposite. One is warm, one is cool. They make each other stand out. Traditional Notans are usually within white, black, and red. So that means you could do a color combination of black and red. That looks pretty cool. You could do white and black. You could do black on white, black and red. So possibilities are endless. So you want two colors. I think I'm going to go with the red and the black as my two colors. So They are ready to go. One of your papers is going to be the background. So we're going to leave that one alone. So I'm going to use black as my background so you can see how I cut on the red. We only need a half a sheet. So I'm going to fold it like a card or the hamburger bun way. Shorten that and give it a little cut. Pop, 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 pop. And now I am ready. Okay. So if you notice from my other one, we're going to be cutting around the edge of the paper and flipping them. So that means here, 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 and here, we're going to cut different shapes into it, okay? So you could do simple triangles. That's going to get boring very fast because you got to go all the way around. So I might want to do some curvy ones. Okay, think of my line, zigzag. There, turn it. Kind of looks like a flame. I'm just going to keep on cutting. Okay, so I am done cutting out my shapes. And notice I kept everything in one piece. This is one piece of paper and my scraps are over here. The other thing to notice is that I did not cut out my corners. Here's why. I know that it's going to be a lot more difficult for you if you do cut on a corner. So don't do that. Just giving you a heads up. Okay. So this piece, this is going to be my main puzzle piece. So I'm going to glue that into the center of my paper. All right, so now we're going to play the puzzle game. Each of these shapes are going to go back into where you cut them. Don't glue them though, you're just placing them for now. Okay, so some of these you might have to twist over. Like I know that one goes there. This one here. So each of the shapes on the outside, the edge is where you're going to flip them over. So I'm going to flip it over, and you can see how they're symmetrical. They are the same on both sides, but one is a negative and one is a positive now. Okay, let me do that again. This time I'm going to actually do glue. Glue it on top and flip it over. There's one. Do it again. Glue on top and flip it over. Make sure you line up that line. It should be a straight line on your edge. Some of your shapes, as you see, this one's pretty large. It will come off the page, but that's okay because it looks amazing. All right, keep going. All right, my Notan is done. As you can see, I can see my positive and negative shapes all around the edge. Challenge time. If you want to add more to your picture, you are free to do that. One example is those Zentangles we learned about, which are the patterns and lines that help us zen. We can add those in. So for example, maybe on this little piece, I'm going to do some, I'll just do some stripes. And then on the inside, get a white crayon. So just to give you an example, you can add in some white crayon or markers. You can do some Zentangles. Here's an example of the difference between the two. This one I did this whole side doing different textures. Okay, it kind of adds a little bit more to your art, where if you like it just plain and looking at the cool paper, that is totally fine too. All right, so I hope you enjoy making these Japanese Notans, which focuses on the positive and negative space. Okay, one other thing I forgot to tell you, as you're flipping over the paper, you can go both ways. So that means, like this one, I flipped over to here, but I could cut in the middle and flip it back. So that's how I made these, like little moon shapes. I flipped it over once, then cut again into it and flipped it back. So there's so many different things. If you want to try flipping both sides, you can also add the Zentangles in, okay? So enjoy this project. I can't wait to see what you come up with, and make sure that you upload it into the Google Classroom. All right, bye guys.